Hello there, fellow NPCs. I'm Scythe, and today we're getting back into the house in Fata Morgana. And we are, as we all know, in Door 8. We have been to know everything about Morgana, and we are trying to free her now. In 3 days, she will be dead. And before we can do that, we have also made sure that Mell told Nelly what he's doing. And now Mell is telling us why he has been doing all of this. Yes. So, and we have seen him being nice and being friendly with Morgana up until now, and I guess this is where it's going to turn. She's going to give him blood, and then he's going to take blood. So that's it. Let's go. Oh, a robin! What does a robin have to do with your sister? Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to some place more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too. There is not a single creature living in this world that is free. Well, birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than a man's short-sighted delusions. Sorry, I guess. No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or make you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention. Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you've got an eager pair of ears here. Okay. If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human. What do you mean? That you would need to be far more removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance of understanding me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words. Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone really important to you in your life? Not at the moment. Does that mean you used to? I'd love to hear about them, if you don't mind. They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred. And as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability for kindness. Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell. Hi, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better. I'll consider it. Interesting. Why does he want to get to know her so badly? Is she the only other person in his age that he can relate to? Is he trying to replace Nelly? What? I don't understand. He's not gonna get a discount, she said that. He's not physically attracted to her. Does it really require that much thought? So long. Yeah, bye. See you soon. Maybe he's attracted, but just physical, he can get past it. Things continued on like that for a while. Nelly bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nelly was starting to wear me out. Even though I knew good and well she had it much worse than me. I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nelly and take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'll even take a miracle if I can get one. I assumed she would, as she had a tendency to, say that people who believe in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much. Do you sincerely wish for a miracle? What? Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take? Well, yeah. I've tried everything else. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. If there were, Nelly would already be better. I've prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion. I know. Miracles do exist. What? If you have faith, and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you will be granted your miracle. What are you talking about, Morgana? You've said many times that you wish to know more about me. Yeah, I have. Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such. No, I am the daughter of God, and all the music died. Yeah, that's gonna change things. So she still believes her to be a daughter of God, huh? Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost did exactly that. But there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was for her to believe she was lying. And before long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood had miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of skin from her shoulders to the tip of her fingers was scarred from where she had been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood, and I believed every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the great sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nelly her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Mell? Hey Nelly, I'm back. And I brought someone with me. A saint. A saint? Yep, she's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you. Miracles? That's right, her blood has miraculous healing powers. Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for a miracle to be performed correctly. I give you my blessing, that it may bestow unto you salvation. I give you my love, and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of a man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father. Morgana held a pale hand above Nelly's mouth and, without hesitation, sliced her own wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nelly's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut over her wrist made me break out into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled, and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles prickled my hands, those slipped through my fingers. Thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into a territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayers as words. It became nothing but a rhythmical sequence of sounds bouncing around in my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. What? Are you alright? The ceremony is complete. How's Nelly? She's asleep right now, but she should awaken soon. Oh, good. My blood has the power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracles is predicted on your faith. So, are you saying we need to worship you? No, I am merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then. Thank you very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. Having only heard her tale of it, I still believed there was a room for me to close the gap between us. That we still had enough in common. But seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling. So, he believes she's a saint now. Mell, come on, get up, dearest Mell. Oh, Mell. Nelly? Ah, finally, you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face? Are you good to be up and about? Yep, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mell. See? No fever. It's gone. She actually performed a miracle. I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood. That's how she remembers it. Her memory is pretty easy, huh? And then I got this warm and fuzzy feeling inside me, and then I had this really strange dream. What kind of dream? There were a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing all into sorts of different colors. It was the most wonderful dream. That doesn't help me understand at all, Nelly. It was a good dream, and that's what matters. It must have been the Saint Lady's powers at work. Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved you're feeling better, Nelly. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But now, everything can go back to normal. Yep, all back to normal. Or so they thought. She wants to thank me. Yeah, Nelly's insisting I let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So if it's alright, would you mind coming over to supper sometime? That would probably not be wise. Huh? Why not? It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine. And I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it. I don't think it would cause any problems. Nelly isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by their looks, I don't think. Perhaps not, but to her, I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level, that faith depends on her idealized image of me. You think so? Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with great love of beauty. And perhaps the same could be said of you. I don't judge people by how they look. It's what inside that matters. I'll take you at your word. Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come? I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Because you're a lover of beauty. Nelly recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now, everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life, live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do, for the both of us. The problem was, Nelly hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood. But soon, her fever came back, She stopped being able to get out of bed, and then to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up little bits of bloody phlegm, and nearly had a panic attack. So I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nellie's health meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be. But it didn't seem to bother her at all. The miracle took place, but it didn't persist. That doesn't make much sense. But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night. And she absolutely believes in you, in her saint. Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her. You'll do it again? I will not forsake those who are in need. And it'll stick this time, right? I cannot promise anything. But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they? Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister. You're my only hope, though. Please, do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I will visit her and give her my blood as many times as is necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourself torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going. Alright. For the second time, Morgana had Nellie drink of her blood, and for the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nellie her blood. The cycle repeated again and again. And every time, I had to watch her go through that ceremony. It was exhausting. And I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this. That it was as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go, no one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she, without fail, wiped away all the doubt I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right or wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her, not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. One of those raining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When, out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulders and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. Oh, Jacopo. No, that is the beast. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I am not here to rob you. What? You're in contact with a witch, are you not? Huh? The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch. Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives there is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with a miracle blood, no? Looks like I got the right person. What do you want from me? I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure the witch out into the open. And why do you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have to help you? She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. What? The Lord? Why would he? That is none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. You barge in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help. Like hell I will. Oh, don't you worry. You'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong. So no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice then. What, He approached the bed where Nelly slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tips against her throat. It happened so quickly and without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I was courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him, pulled him away from Nelly, but my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away, or you help me capture her. Get away from her, right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away! Make your decision. Get away from her! You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I'll kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, I can click now. 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. Oh, you pitiful little boy. I felt like jumping into a lake. I couldn't make sense of how I ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I had been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nelly had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no. But I had figured that was how things would always be. Then one day, I would fall for some noble girl. Nelly would get jealous, and I would have to spend several days, or even weeks, pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles, because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home? Feeding my sick sister miracle blood? What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped that we would never arrive at the lake, and part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all of this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal, and we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nelly, even if the ceremony said to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nelly, and for me. She didn't grimace, or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint. But there I was, selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Oh Father, who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I am about to do. Please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious? No, but you know, how? I can't, please, God. That was the sound. Stop crying. Would you rather I kill you here? No. Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch. Yeah. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? It's me. I'm not here about Nelly today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded. I want to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never one to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we were mere humans. Always been so aloof, never giving any indication she had thought anything of me at all. So why? Why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now, of all times? Yeah. Yeah. Get back. No, stay away from me. No. Help. Don't kill me. More screaming. Take it. What? Take your share. Should last you long enough. Yeah. Why? Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Why? Why? Crying. So it wasn't something he even planned to do. It wasn't a big cahoots thing. He was actually blackmailed into doing it. Threatened into doing it. It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whipping past my ear. And the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen how it did. When he'd said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought he would turn brutal. That he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, floundering about as I watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. These are some weird sounds. I don't know how to say them. Arm. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass on the lakeshore, I vomited and vomited, and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm, a human arm! You would have to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin fresh on my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers, dragging me back to reality. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but to wail. I was horrified at what I had done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I had kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. So it was not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood so close in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of the fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I had gotten all the blood off my clothes, The sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping and quickly recalled that I had left Nelly alone at the house. My legs were shaking and I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead. Mell? What's the matter, dearest Mell? Where have you been? Mell? I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry, so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mell, I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mell. I'm just fine. Honest. I'm all right. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I had caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard those screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm, still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nelly probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would have caused her memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nelly's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point though, all the money I had been given started running low. If I'd thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nelly, nor had I been especially concerned about money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, and I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits, which left me with only one thing I could do for Nelly, be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nelly died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nelly's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door, unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come visit. But what I didn't know was why he had to come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister's inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. Yeah, he was not very strong-willed, huh? What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm? Mell, what's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nelly. I should get them something to drink. Don't worry about it, Nelly. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. So that's your sister. Explains why you look so much alike. That's none of your damn business. You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away. Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into a medicine, and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business in a house of worship. No, I suppose we're technically giving it away. But we're asking for tithes, so really it's the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me, it looks no different than a business. But the people here, they see it as charity. The Lord says if you'll assist us, He'll provide you with the medicine we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be... Hell if I know. Because it seems like good money. So, will you help us? You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again. I can't, not again. Oh, right. I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So, will you help us? Or will you die here? Yeah. What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me one set of 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key. But with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one to end up losing a limb or two. There was no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I brought Morgana's breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes the first time I stepped through the door. How could you do that to me? I never looked at her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. Yeah, so pretty much what we all thought, I would say. The Lord, Jacopo, and the Beast made him do it. He didn't get a choice in the matter. And that is how I ended up here. And that is where we will cut off for today's video. Yeah, fucking sad. But this is not a pleasant game to begin with. And yeah, I am starting to feel like this game is too long. And we still have yet to go through the Beast and Jacopo's stories as well. So I am getting a little winded about this. Such a great story, but it is also very long. And yeah, we'll keep on pushing forward, because it's going to pay off. I do believe that. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and if you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.